Uh, we're going to use this introduction as a prefix to our reunion tapes. There's the magic picture there on the wall of Grandpa Scott pictured, and we're right in the middle of the picture. And I don't know if I'll get Grandma Scott in this introduction or not. She does what she does best this time of the day, lays in bed and talks on the telephone. She just finished talking to Gordon, sounds like. This is the living room. This is coming out of the living room, 3 steps, and we're into the office. And there's the computer that Jamin fixed us up so we could be on email, or other printers and computers, and Gordon helped us buy when we were living in Shingle Springs several years ago. And there's the neatly organized desk and file system that is the heart blood of Ken Scott Realty. And there's the picture of birds that we won at the. This is my private bathroom. You notice I have a deep personal spa type tub from the 1920 series. There's our cooler that cools the house. And there's our medicine cabinet, very well organized as most medicine cabinets are. Coming into my bedroom, reading material, the Church News, and Book of Mormon magazine. And I will do a reverse here, and we catch some pictures that Mother recently drew. It's called The Boy is the Father of the Man. And I don't know who she used for the boy, but there's what she did for my dad, or maybe that's supposed to be me. They're black and white sketch drawings. And here, of course, is the pictures of the family when we were in Provo in 1976 and 77. And later on, we were back and living in Shingle Springs. Portrait of Grandma Scott, my mother, and a portrait of Grandpa Scott, my father. Doesn't seem to get. There's better. Look at that. Get a better focus of it. Please. Violin. And there's a better focus of Grandma Scott. A little hard to get this picture without the reflections. Look close, you might see yourself. Thing hanging down the middle of the ivy that seems to share my room wherever I live, thanks to a wife that loves plants. I used to fight that because I was afraid it was stealing oxygen, but then I learned that it give off oxygen, so I couldn't use that as an excuse. This is Robert before Joy. Here's Daniel's high school graduation ensemble. Well, that's enough of that. I'll show you a picture of the outside of the house, and then we'll start the reunion tape. I don't know how much of this I got now. There's our car that we took all the way across the United States to take us on a mission to Okeechobee, Florida and back. We're standing out in front of 501 Hillcrest Road, John Day, Oregon. And it's a White House trimmed in blue with a metal roof and 3 Chinese elm trees, a tobacco squash that we brought from Shingle Springs with us, kept the seeds, been planting it for years now. Mother's flowers and a retaining wall, rocks from all over the county find their way out here somehow. And Mother's flowers again. We have cosmos blooming this time of the year. That room there is the outside of Mother's bedroom. She has a nice view of the street, only about 6 or 8 feet from the traffic lane, maybe 10. There's some more cosmos. Where are they? Give them a little time to focus. There they are. And our cat Annie. Okay, sit down, let us have your picture there. Thank you. Look this way. Kitty, kitty, kitty. That's a girl. Meow, meow. Come on. That's better. Now we'll get a little close-up of her. She has a definite personality. Great mouser. We have no mice. She was here when we came. We are, oh, there's
No.
maybe you better crawl in bed.
He wants to take a picture of...
There's a
Wait. No,
picture of Grandma
no.
in her room,
Not to see it.
doing what she does best,
We tried to...
laying in bed
we tried to get
and
it
talking on the telephone.
thing, you know, but Juno said, we don't have that many bites.
She's talking to, I don't know who she talks to. She seems to have a group of 10 people she likes to talk to. She's talking to one.
Cute picture of a little girl.
There's a picture my dad painted of the backside of Canyon Mountain from IZ Road out in Seneca Valley, Bear Valley. This is her private little bath, her toilet, commode room.
Presentation was an amusement park and that. On it.
She's a little bit organized in the other bathroom.
And then he told us afterwards
And
that
this is her
that
separate
child
tub area.
called Brittany by his pet name once. And
We'll probably have this house up for sale in about 10 or 15, 20 years, so if you're interested, you'll be able to keep on this tape in case you want to invest in it. And so here's a cabinet that a friend of ours made for Mom. She admired his work so well, so he just made the cabinet, corner cabinet, and handed it off to her. So we had to
Some
make it,
name that
treat him to a
Dan calls her.
pizza dinner, which we of course enjoyed too. There's Mom and Dad's folks when they were young, Eldon and Merrill.
Yeah,
You have to share the picture with the plant too.
he called Brittany by that name.
Lou?
Brittners or Brittners, I think is just one of them. And then he said that Peter called him, and he was thrilled to hear that. You know, he was just thrilled to hear Chandler.
So that's about enough prelude for this. We're going to add this on to the reunion tape on the front of it as an introduction through our mighty technological center here, CD player, the VCR number 1, the VCR number 2, the television set that used to belong to Dan and Heidi, and we've got it on loan, giving us a problem, but everything works fine for the sound, and we've got it hooked up to the CD player. Record on the back of this tape the reunion, starting with Altamont, Utah, and picture the backside of Timpanogos and Jamin. Introducing us to the Scott reunion 1999 and July 16th. And here's the group that we had together when we took group pictures. Best we could get together at one place. This is a little bit of the common dining fire pit cooking area. During our daytime activity. Whatever it might have been, eating or playing games or visiting or whatever.
Put to music, loosely stated music, and see if you can figure out which one it is. Is that your only partner in life?
Jim wishes he could do that.
I was born under a wandering door. You throw it. Bad boys, bad boys. Everybody's attacked. Oh! Bad boy. Hey, I'm going to name this. May I name this one? We're going to call this one. Oh, it's not
Like
over.
a good neighbor. I found this guy on the side of the road, and I just take care of him.
Well, why'd you help him?
He doesn't need that.
Won't you be my neighbor?
We're gonna name that. We're gonna name that skit the Good Jamaritan.
I should have had Emily do it.
All right. Well, that makes
Yes, they told me I was supposed to talk about my mission because last time I wasn't home when everybody talked about their mission. So for those of you who don't know, I went to Paraguay, left in '96, and started in an area on the eastern border of Paraguay called Ciudad del Este, or City of the East. I was there for a few months, and then I got transferred to another area. I had 3 areas as junior comp, and then I went into the office, And then from there I went to 3 different areas after that. I don't know, what do you want? What am I supposed to say?
Tell us some special family.
Tell us your dog experience with your accident.
When I was in the office, it was my first, one of my first days in the office. So it was Thanksgiving year of 1997, or Thanksgiving Day. And my companion had with his own, made a deal a month before he went home. And he wanted to go see some of his friends from his old zone. So one night, and so he said, okay, let's all get in the truck and let's go out to my old zone. So we said, okay, whatever. So we all got in the truck and we headed out, we visited some of his friends in his other zone, and we were on our way home, and I had the feeling I had to stay awake. It was, it was getting kind of late at night, and I had the feeling I had to stay awake and help him with the curves. We were going through kind of a curvy road, and I didn't pay attention. I figured out he's a big guy, he's been driving for a long time, he can do it himself, he knows what he's doing. I had the feeling a second time, stay awake, help him with the curves, and didn't pay attention to it. Third time, it hit me stronger, and I thought, stay awake, I better stay awake. And I woke up about the same time my companion did, and he went heading off the road for a curve, and so he just overcorrected, and we hit some soft shoulder and rolled the truck. None of us were wearing our seatbelts except for the driver, but luckily nobody was hurt seriously. There was another time, I guess my mom wants me to tell, that we were out tracking. We'd been in the area for a little while, so we knew the area pretty well, and we thought we'd go exploring one day. We didn't have a whole lot to do for the morning, and so we kind of went exploring a little bit, and we're exploring new areas in our little sector, and we were basically out in the middle of nowhere, and we came across a farm. And we didn't see anybody at the farm, and so we cut across the farm, and we got to a house. And the tradition there is that it's bad manners to walk on somebody's property without asking their permission. And if they're in the house, the only way to get their permission is to clap. So you have to clap and get their attention, and get them outside so you can ask their permission to come on their property. So we start clapping as we get to this house, and nobody's coming to the door. So we just kind of, we walked up to the house, and nobody's at the house, we see, and we look over, and there's a pretty big-sized dog, and as we got on the property, this big dog, probably about that tall, comes walking up to us and sniffs us, and nothing happened, and we saw another dog off in the distance, and it was tied up to a stick, and we just kind of walked by him, and we saw some farmers, and they were Brazilians, and we talked to them, and they told us, they said, that's pretty funny, we didn't hear the dogs bark. Well, those dogs are over there, they're just kind of hanging out. And he says, well, the owner brought the dogs out here because they've already, I guess they killed somebody, or they, were having trouble with the dogs anyway. And so they brought the dogs out, but they didn't look at us. So we were okay that time.
Just had enough meat on your bones.
I guess had a better offer, I don't know. Probably my best family that I met, just the way we found them. I don't know if you guys want the long story or the short story, but I'll try and condense it a little bit. We were tracking one day, and we weren't having any luck, and we had a appointment coming up. And so I thought, well, we'll stop tracking a little bit early, and we'll go to the appointment just a little bit early. On the way to the appointment, we decided, let's track one more house. So we walked up to the house, and we clapped, and a girl comes out to the house. She's about our age, comes out to the street. We start talking to her, and we give her a real quick first discussion, basically, and we had pulled out the Book of Mormon. We asked her if she'd ever seen it. And she said, yeah, my mother-in-law has one, and that's kind of not a real common thing to hear. And so we said, well, can we come back and talk to your mother-in-law when she gets here? And she says, yeah, come back tomorrow. She'll be here tomorrow afternoon. So we go back and teach her, talk to the mother-in-law. Apparently, they've been having some family troubles, and the mother-in-law was about to give it up. She was going to leave her family. She'd had enough. And I guess about a week later, she locked herself in her bathroom and was praying that she'd get one more chance. And just a couple of days after she did that, she talked to the missionaries, to some other missionaries who gave her a Book of Mormon. And she started reading the Book of Mormon, and it just made her totally feel at peace. And so she knew that was the answer to her prayers. And we found her, just a couple weeks after we found her, she got baptized right away. A little bit after I left the area, her husband got baptized. But while we were teaching them, she told us that she had a friend who was a Uruguayan, and she wanted us to go talk to them. And Uruguayans kind of have a tendency of being really tough people, and you kind of don't, we as missionaries wanted to teach more of the Paraguayans rather than the Uruguayans. And so I thought, well, we'll do it if there's time. Another thing she said was that the Jehovah's Witnesses always talk to her, and we thought, well, if she's talking to the Jehovah's Witnesses, she probably has heard all that she wants to hear about us. And the third thing was that she lived in a nice area of town, and people who live in nice area of towns generally aren't really accepted. So, basically she had 3 strikes, and I really didn't want to go over there very much. But one day, we just had some extra time, and I thought, well, let's go over and talk to the people. We clapped, and they opened up the door, and the lady's eyes just lit up. And she said, come in. She didn't even ask who we were. She just invited us right in. And so we went inside, and she looks at her husband, and she says, honey, these are missionaries. Before we said a word, we didn't even say anything to her. And she says, honey, these are missionaries. She said, have seats. We sat down, and we started talking a little bit. And the guy says, well, I'm familiar with your church a little bit. And we said, oh, yeah? And he says, yeah, I used to go. And I said, wow, when did you go? And he says, well, about 20 years ago, I used to go back in here away. And he says, really, how long did you go? For about 2 years. And he says, did you get baptized? And he says, yeah. He says, he even got the priesthood. He was a deacon. So, and it turns out, a couple years after he got baptized, he met his wife, who was Catholic. Her family was really Catholic. And so they got married in the Catholic Church and started going back to the Catholic Church. 4 years previous, though, they moved to Paraguay, didn't have any family around them. They didn't have any of the bad outside influences. And they really hadn't been going to church at all. So we started talking to him again. He started having his old feelings again. They went back to church, and she got baptized a few weeks later. That branch that I was in had a brand new chapel, and the day of the chapel dedication, he baptized his son. So I talked to a couple of my companions later on, just actually last Sunday. And I guess he's in the bishopric now, and she's got a calling in the Relief Society. And their other 2 children, who weren't living with him at the time, have been baptized. So, that's, I guess, my success story. This is a hammock. It was made by the Guarani Indians. There's an Indian tribe that's basically inside of Paraguay only, and they're called the Guarani. They have their own language, which isn't a dialect of anything. It's basically just just their own language. They make things like this, crafts like this. They have something they call Nyandu tea, which means spider web, that they do. Just a bunch of different art like that.
Did you sleep in a hammock?
No, we didn't sleep in a hammock. If we did, it was just like relaxing during the day or whatever.
Okay.
That's lovely.
From the audience, 4 things.
Can you step this way so the sun's not... There we go. Good, yeah.
I'll get 4 things. 3 reasons for being late to work. And 3 random... Explain what we're doing. Why did you... No, it's...
Car broke down.
Okay, construction.
Alarm clock didn't go off.
Alarm clock is good. And what was another one?
Something really awful.
Flat tire. Oh,
This rarely ever happens.
I'll make my tea.
No. Dog ate Keith.
Dog ate Joel.
I was wondering if the construction was.
No.
Okay, what were they again?
Construction, dog ate Keith.
alarm clock.
Alarm clock. Yeah, go off. Okay. Okay. And we need number 4. Where do we work?
I'm in the way, huh?
Where we work?
Yes,
You guys did the dream to work. We're working on it. Okay, what kind of, just doing sales? Working on conversions or something.
Factory.
Okay.
Turkey factory.
Tiny house factory.
It's a weekend.
Now this is the thing. Valerie is late for work again. I am her boss. She needs to figure out the 3 reasons why she's late for work and what she does for work. These 2 have to explain that to her behind my back. Okay? All right? Okay, bring Valerie around. Are you ready? All right, yeah, we're good.
Okay, yeah, come on.
Thumbs down.
Hello, Miss Scott. It seems like you are late again. You have yet another reason why you would be late.
in as the alarm clock wouldn't go off.
What?
I couldn't get my stockings on.
That's not good enough. A little more.
I'm sorry, I was filming.
What are you looking at?
Jack
Everybody, just stay out of this for a second. I don't want you guys fiddling with what never sees.
My dog eats it. I've gone through a lot of growth over this time, so this is kind of a show on what kind of growth I've gone through. First of all, I'll introduce you to our dog. This is our baby. This is Sadie. Sadie Moab's Sky. Sadie Moab's Sky. She was born on February 22nd, I think. And she's an Italian Greyhound, and she's the color of fawn. Now, before I had this dog, and Kelly's family had a dog, they fed it this junk. Right here called Mighty Dog. I don't know if any of you guys have ever seen this before, what it looks like, what it smells like, or even what it tastes like. I'm not sure, but I always got really sick when I had to open it and feed it to Kelly's dog. And now, today, my dog eats it, and now I have to open it and do it. And I used to not even be able to look at it. I couldn't open it. It smelled so bad. It smelled like, you know the Deseret meat chunks that they have? That's what it reminded me of. Like rotten Deseret meat chunks. And anyway, so I had to feed this dog, not this dog, but Kelly's dog, this stuff. And now I can actually do it without making myself throw up too bad. See? That's pretty bad. But she loves it, so I get it to her. And my wife, she was saying, what's your problem? It's just food. And they do the fork, they do the spoon, and everything, just like get all mashed up for her, and feed it to her. So I've grown quite a bit in the way I can handle Mighty Dog. Dog immediately. She likes it. The other thing is my cowboy hat. I just got this today, actually. I never was really a country fan, or really a cowboy. Well, cowboy, I can't. It's just country. I couldn't stand country music. But for some reason, my wife listens to country so much, and I love my wife, and I like her to listen to what she likes to listen to, so she listens to country. Well, for some reason, I started thinking cowboy hats are kind of cool. Country music still, and there's a couple of things I can stomach it, but, you know, I don't have all my radio sets on it to country, but because of my wife, this is another fine product of how much I've grown and changed a little bit. So between this and the Mighty Dog, and for my family that know me from the beginning, these are two things that they know I've grown quite a bit on. Because I didn't ever listen to country, and I didn't like the wheat chunk I gave it to Desiree. And that's all.
Some of you may know a few weeks back we had an opportunity to take kind of a church history, Sutton family history back to Missouri. My dad was born and raised in northwestern Missouri, town in Bethany, and I'd never been there, never been to Missouri, never been to his hometown. So last year, after reading the series The Work and the Glory, and I started talking to my dad about maybe going back there and combining the trip. Anyway, that's what we did. We started out in Kansas City and went up north to a lot of where my dad grew up. It was really a wonderful opportunity for me because my dad, we had an opportunity to see places where my great-grandparents are buried, my grandparents are buried, and see some things that my grandparents built. They were contractors, and they built a church and a school up there that are still standing. Couldn't see my dad's house, but he took us to where it was and where he grew up and spent a lot of his time, his childhood. And we have many videotapes of him telling stories of his young life, and it was really quite enlightening to me. The second part of the trip, we went to Nauvoo and spent a lot of time around there, went to Carthage Jail. Also, when we were back down in Kansas City, we went to the Liberty Jail, saw where the prophet had been incarcerated there. And also we visited places like the Far West, the location of Hans Milmax Church. We went to Adam-on-Diamond, and on our way to Nauvoo, we stopped at the location where William Clayton was supposed to have written the Come Come Ye Saints hymn. And it was a really enjoyable trip, and I'll let some of my family tell a little bit more about what we saw in Nauvoo.
This is the sunstone that was
well, it's a replica of the sunstone that they decorated the Nauvoo temple with, and it's not there anymore. It was destroyed. But they are planning to rebuild it in exact likeness to the one that was there through the records they have and everything. And Nauvoo was a really beautiful place. You could really see why they thought that was just the promised land for them. And you could, specifically Carthage, you could really feel the spirit of the people there and of the prophet. And Adam-on-Diamond is the most beautiful land I've ever seen. Pass it around.
The actual sunstone itself is up there.
One of them, yeah, one of them is still intact. In fact, I think we've got a picture of it here. One thing that I thought was really, we started out in Missouri, and one of the things that I thought I'd like to read, I don't know, I just thought it was significant with our Mormon history. This was written in 1976. Whereas on October 27, 1838, the governor of the state of Missouri, Lilburn W. Boggs, issued an order calling for the extermination or expulsion of Mormons from the state of Missouri, and whereas Governor Boggs' order clearly contravenes the rights to life, liberty, property, and religious freedom as guaranteed by the Constitution of the United States, as well as the Constitution of the state of Missouri, and whereas in this bicentennial year, as we reflect on our nation's heritage, the exercise of religious freedom is without question one of the basic tenets of our free democratic republic. Now therefore I, Christopher S. Bond, Governor of the state of Missouri, by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Constitution and the laws of the state of Missouri, do hereby order as follows. Expressing on behalf of all Missourians our deep regret for the injustice and undue suffering which was caused by this 1838 order, I hereby rescind Executive Order Number 44, dated October 27, 1838, issued by Governor Lilburn W. Boggs. And he did it on the 25th day of June, 1976. And I just thought, you know, that this thing was sitting on the record until 76, an extermination order or expulsion of Mormons.
Was that governor named Boggs?
That was Governor Boggs that did that.
No, but that was the other governor.
Bond, Christopher S. Bond. And some of these pictures here we'll pass around. One of them shows a brick kiln, and they've got senior missionaries there showing you how it was done, for everything from candle making to barrel making, gun making, brick making, and they have the actual place. They've got a bakery, everything just the way it was, and these are some of the bricks that they had. Pass that around. Rachel, if you want to pass that around. And in the pictures here, you'll see a brick kiln. And another thing that I was fascinated with, you know how we heard that Nauvoo was all marshland. They built, and you'll see Joseph's Creek. They built down the side. The temple was up on a high plain, and then the marshland was all down here because all the water would run down onto it. And they built two big, huge canals or ditches that ran it off out to the river, and that's how they made this part dry and turned it into the marshland. But this is Joseph's Creek, and that's one of the ditches that they built out, they dug out by hand. And then you'll see pictures of Carthage jail, the statue with Hiram and Joseph out in front, and you'll see inside of the Carthage jail, you'll see the bullet in the door at Carthage jail, and it's about right here. Bullet hole, what did I say? Bullet in the door, okay, bullet hole. And the man that was there told us about how that was the bullet that hit Hiram right here in the face. They were coming up the stairs and with their guns, and he was like this, trying to stop them from getting the door open. And that's how, when they shot through, the bullet hit him in the face. There's another bullet hole right down here that you can just see. I don't know if that's the hole or something else, but yeah, okay, that's the hole where you can see the light coming through. They had put a big board over here to cover up the memory of the killings that had happened there. The people that lived there afterwards, because the jailer lived downstairs, and actually you'll see a bedroom here with a window, and that window was the window that Joseph Smith fell from. It was from the jailer's bedroom, and the jailer had actually, and his wife had actually given up their bedroom for them to stay in upstairs. But this other bullet hole, they couldn't bar it over because they needed room for the mechanism. And so one of the people just cut a little slice out of the edge of the door and threw it into his toolbox. And then his grandson, when they came back and the church was restoring this, found that piece in the toolbox. And they put it there, and the wood grain matched perfectly, and the bullet hole was there in it, and they replaced it. And so that kind of completes the history of the door. And other than that, you'll just see scenes from there. Oh, you'll also see the reorganized LDS church has a certain area in Nauvoo where they have land, and this is the house that Emma lived in after the saints moved on from Nauvoo. And this is the graveyard where Hiram, Emma, and Joseph are all buried, and you'll see that their stones are, their granite stones there. And then the last thing you'll see is the place where they're going to build up the Nauvoo temple. And this hole right here is where a spiral staircase was. There's one on the other corner that you can't see, the two in the front. And then the hole in the center, the brick area in the center, is where they had the baptismal font. And these are the footings. They had to dig way down, as you can see, just to find any footings, because people came and stole the granite, and there was a little prison that was built out of the stone from the temple there that they had to, and this is a picture of what it's going to look like. It's going to look just like it did, outside. So we'll pass those around. And the first one is just turtles on the log. On the Mississippi River.
It was a wonderful trip, and you could feel the strength of the saints, the early saints there, feel their spirit of the difficulties that they went through and the trials and tribulations that they faced, and it's because of their great faith that we're here today. And I encourage you, any of you that can make that trip, you should do it. It's well worth the time.
We have a video that we made of it too, so if we show you.
Talking about a roller hockey team that I'm coaching, and the kids from 8 to 12. That's right, 8 to 12 years old, and they're playing much better than they started out playing at the beginning. They're a good coach.
Did you know rollerblade that good for playing?
Yeah, I do both. I don't like roller hockey, but I can play.
Where did you learn rollerblade?
I started inline skating because I wanted to play ice hockey, and I thought that would be a good way to get myself ready to play in the ice hockey league, but I was going to start playing it back then. So that's that.
How did you get into it?
My boss at work, where I worked, his son is on the team, and so they conned him into coaching, and he needed someone to help him.
Sound like Mighty Ducks.
What's the team name?
The Titans.
Is this a city league or something?
Yeah. Yeah, it's not a city league. It's like a privately owned inline skating.
So how many other teams do they play with?
There were 6 total teams, so 5 other teams.
I see. Is it a year-round schedule? Is that right?
Yeah, so they're starting the season in like 2 weeks.
Is it?
No, I coached the team. Yeah, sorry.
Is it? Do they allow full contact, or is there?
No. They allow full contact in ice hockey for kids that are older than 10 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah.
Are you a forward?
What's that?
Are you a forward?
He's a forward. I don't play on the team, Jay. Okay. Good. Glad we got that.
Where you want to be? Carlin plays ice hockey somewhere.
Tell us about your game the other day.
Are you playing on a team?
Oh,
Take
yeah.
up this big station.
Tell you what, this fall, I'm going to play for Moore Park College. So I played rec hockey, and that season ended a couple weeks back. And this fall, I'm going to play for Moore Park College.
This is ice hockey.
Ice hockey.
Yeah, you take classes to play?
Yeah.
Are you the goalie?
No, I won't. I don't think I'll ever be the goalie. I don't think that'll ever change. And I just don't see that happening. I'll be the goalie. Jake, do you play hockey?
No, I didn't play with you, though. I didn't think you were the goalie.
I thought I explained a few things.
In the roller hockey, do they play with a puck or is it a ball?
They play with a plastic puck. And they paint the cement surface, and it's all right. They paint it black, unfortunately, and that kind of attracts heat. It's outdoors, so it makes it heats it up, and the puck stops moving very well. Kind of a bad way to lay out your hockey facilities. But, yeah.
Where do you work now?
I work at a real estate investment corporation in Los Angeles, and we invest in real estate, correct, bro?
Whoa.
Very complicated, very tricky. And then, yeah, I do their graphic work, graphics, and I'm the office manager there.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Here, we're going to sing a song. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, then your face will surely show it. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet. If you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet. If you're happy and you know it, then your face will surely show it. If you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet. Happy and you know it, blink your eyes. If you're happy and you know it, blink your eyes. If you're happy and you know it, then your face will surely show it. If you're happy and you know it, blink your eyes. All right, one more song. I looked out the window and what did I see? Popcorn popping on the apricot tree. Spring has brought me blossoms popping right before my eyes. I can take it on. All right. You want to go to Rachel?
I think she wants Michelle to hold her. There we go.
She likes both of them.
Okay, well, this last semester, ending April, I graduated from college.
Yay!
For the 2-year thing, which is
Are you a 4-year, 3-year plan?
4 years. But,
The 8-year bachelor.
and I was going to go to Idaho State University, but they, what happened? Oh yeah, they only could take 3 people into their chemistry program, so I didn't get to get in there. But UAU Hawaii offered to pay my tuition if I was going there as a chemistry major.
T. Yes, I forgot it. I always have this problem. T is time, quality time. Quality time. Jim, would you like to give us an idea what you think quality time
It just means where you're focusing in on the person in question and not distracted by other things.
is? What do you think it means, Sarah?
Quality time. Well,
That's right.
I agree with Jim, and being sure that maybe you talk about things that are important.
That's the idea about quality time, is that you want to be sure that the person that you're talking to is getting quality time. We may be giving quality time, but they may not be receiving quality time. So quality time is very important about that you want to get there. And now, oh, thank you. G. Yes. Yes. You like this pen? Did you really want that pen? Okay, Carl, do you like to receive gifts?
Occasionally.
How about you?
Yes.
Always?
Not always.
Not always. What do you say, Maggie?
Sure.
Always.
Always.
Oh. So there's a difference in how we feel about receiving gifts, and if we don't receive gifts, if we don't feel like receiving gifts, it really wasn't a gift. In fact, it's sometimes, I had a father-in-law one time, every time we leave there, he'd load our car up with stuff. I got a lady living there, and they were living in town, but now, when I come back from working in the garden, I find a space heater in the back end. Or, she says, here, take this home with you. Here's a can of olives. Like, so, you have to be really considerate about it. But Becky Scott is fantastic at selecting gifts. She always gives gifts that are just really thought through. I mean, that's a great talent. So, what do we got there? ATG. Great. ATG. Let's all hear it for
G.
Now you got to remember these. You want to really remember stuff. You've got to review it in 20 minutes, and then you review it again in 24 hours, and then you'll have it. You review it again in a month. You'll have it for the rest of your life. ATG. S. S stands for smile. Service with a smile. Service. Service. Well, now, who serves? We're talking about the language of love, you know. What's the best epitome of God?
What we can do with this is capture it in the computer and then do whatever we want with it. That way everybody can get in and you can get 5 or 6 I did that one myself.
Open my eyes a little
But
wider.
I did that off everybody's head.
We had it in.
Going down? Yeah. Great. Come on, Mom. Bring it.
Grandpa.
Well, you come in first, and we'll get these. They'll be here, and then you can run back.
Yeah, you can take the other pictures.
Yeah, we're going to do the
and then blend them
camera,
together.
Mom.
People that aren't here. Make it look like
Where's that with her?
That'd be exciting. Put another row on top of it.
Yeah.
Up above it. All in one picture. A black and white, some color. Remember this? She's not going yet.
They
That's
could
just
spell
recording
something
now.
across the front of our shirt.
It is recording now, Brian?
Yeah, it is recording, so Mom has to get out here and stand for like 5 minutes.
You mean our desire to have football uniforms?
Yeah, everybody's striking every about 5 seconds, you know. Add a different post so that she gets that picture.
And then let me get a picture too.
How little cat walk.
Somebody give me a high five over there. Ready, Matt? Come on. Meet me in the middle. Come on. Meet me in the middle.
Get up.
Yay!
Come on. Give him a high five in the middle.
Okay, I'll go get one.
Okay, Rachel, switch in here.
I'm going to set a timer on this.
You want to do that.
Brian's not going to be in the picture. Yeah, let me set a timer.
Okay.
Wait, why don't you let Sarah take her picture? Because I'm using the emotion.
But Sarah will be in it.
Sarah won't be. Oh.
So we'll miss somebody no matter what we do. Not his timer.
Okay. All right.
That's how Bill Swittenfield and Rose got for the photo op. Yeah, but he likes. Oh, he likes.
This is what P-days are like in
P-days.
like when we go to the Coke and Hope where they have the big flower gardens.
Come on, Bryce. Go.
We'd have like 50
Radio
million.
cameras recording all of this.
Going,
It's
going.
Quick,
Quick,
smile. Two, you got. Gonna take 2 pictures. Take here. I gotta use that.
Yeah, it's not even good enough.
Oh, hey, Mama suggests we get to the church now.
And when we get to the other
Oh, run out of battery.
Oh, you put a different battery in there?
Same battery.
Grandpa,
Want to see how close we're going to get, Heidi?
oh, go up her nose.
Look at this. We're going to get up on the mountain here. 64 zoom.
It goes a lot faster than I used to. Oh my word. Is it gonna focus? It's good. Where are you at? Oh, record them, Dan.
Okay.
You're about to die.
Record me. And you.
Your favorite father.
You can't say that. The one that's right here. If I am not with the girl I love, I love the girl.
Oh, and we're with the other grandbaby too.
Oh, wow.
That,
Charming, charming.
yeah.
Yeah. Now this,
Still running? No battery? Not in, well,
still running, yeah, still running. Should I turn off the recorder or you want to keep recording?
no, go ahead and keep recording. You want to run it out now, like you said.
Whoa, heavier today than today.
You want to put it in here, dear?
Hi.
Hi. Dad, bring that cover. I'll show you how to hook it on here. Wow. Can you put her down okay?
Isn't it amazing how light it just?
Yeah, I know. That's what I was just noticing.
So sensitive. I thought you wouldn't be able to see it in here. But it's just so...
Black and white.
No way.
Look at that.
Oh, it's got a black and white too, hasn't it?
Yeah. Did you know that?
No, yeah, I forgot about it. I
Menu.
Yeah.
How much did you pay?
Strobe. What's strobe? Oh, look at this, Dad.
That
Did you
is
know I did
awesome.
that?
No.
That must be the feature that Robert, no, that was broken.
$498.
Only $98 more.
Only $98 more than ours.
400.
Look at that.
So you got reels behind you.
Now watch this, Dad. This is a cool one.
Good year and a half, 2 years.
This is a cool one. Watch this, Dad. Watch this, Dad. Snap.
You could stop it. Yeah.
That snapshot, see?
Oh, that's incredible. I want this
See?
one. Oh.
Why wasn't it on pause? Maybe it did it itself.
That's too bad. I thought we had all that.
Well, we'll get it again.
That's only one queen. Find that out. It's only one queen.
How did that help? Okay, here we are. Sunday evening, July 11th, doing what the Scott Fan Reunion does best, have fun.
Dad, where's our cooler?
You okay, Sarah? You getting it figured out?
What book are you reading? What book are you reading?
Here's Dan taking care of all the necessities of life, which are the young folks. Rachel was giving us a beautiful pose. Clarissa and Lydia. Hello, Lydia. Hi, Lydia. Hi there, Chandley. Lydia's mommy. Here we got a view of Carlin doing John Denver thing. Thing about this, you can spy on people that don't know you, or spy on them. There's the Yami. Everything all right with you, Yama Yama?
You're probably winning then.
Happy when skies are gray, you'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. Dear, you really love me, and more than else could come between. But now you love me to love another. You unshattered all my dreams. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away.
Taylor with you? Yeah.
Home again, without sun back in the sky.
Got two.
Home again, about 1,000 years shine. Ding dong ding, I can hear the chapel bells chime. Ding dong ding, at the least suggestion, I'll pop the question. Light a rose, I'm home again, without a sweetheart to my name. Light a rose, everyone knows, I'm hoping you're the same. So here's my love song, not that beautiful.
Oh, yeah, they are. Well, get around, you Let me tell you about a story about a man named Charlie and the
Step over here so I can get the boys. I want to get all those boys together. One tank.
Let me tell you, tell you a story about a tragic and faithful day. From the story about a man named Charlie and he put that picture in his pocket. I kept his wife there. Kept his wife and went to work on the NCA. Now gather around, you people, let me tell you the story of a tragic and faithful day. Tell a story about a man named Charlie. Well, this is the story about a man. Well, this is the story of a man named Charlie on a tragic and faithful day. He was sitting in his pocket, his wife and family went to ride on the NCA. Did he ever gather? No, he never returned, and his fate is still unknown. He will ride forever in the streets of Boston. He's the man who never returned. Every day she hands Charlie a sandwich.
Yeah. That sounds like a good one. Where would he get this?
He goes to the station, they can't make the change.
Yeah,
the conductor tells him that
One more nickel. Yeah.
So he never gets off?
No, he can't get out. He got on, it's 10 cents, but while he was on, they raised it. He didn't have another nickel, so he couldn't get out. So he just rides around the street and
Charlie citizens of Boston, don't you think it's a tragedy how the people have to pay and pay? It's Charlie up the end. Or has never returned. Well, he sits in the box, and don't you think it's a scandal how the people have to pay and pay? Twice the fare increase, vote for George O'Reilly and Charlie up the MTA. Or he'll never return, no, he'll never return. Taking his skill on the earth. Walking right forever on the streets of Boston. He's the man who'll never return. He's the man who'll never return. Oh, there goes Here's the one, you turn on all
Here you go, Gordon line, on the line.
Hey, Dan, I missed it. Do it again, will you?
Let's say we can't have 2 men offside.
One man offside's okay. Not two, that's what he said.
If I'm back here and there's only 2 men up there, how do you have 2 men offside?
Danny and I both can't be ahead of Jamie.
One man can, though.
They just have to get a hold of the fast break before the line. They can kick it, you know.
Stop it. Shoot. Now.
Come on, let's go get some more water.
This isn't offside, the hard side, right? Right.
Well, we're going to stop the soccer game and add to the back of the Scott reunion tape the Tallman reunion, which took place in July 30th, 1999 at Marsing, Idaho. And we'll also have at the end of that some tape of pictures that Daniel took in Denver when he visited Gordon and Carol and Joseph and Becky and their children and our grandchildren at the amusement park there, the kiddie park, that day. Good afternoon.